Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing my empties for the month of August. Like always, I'll have these separated into categories in case you're only interested in certain items. Like always, I'm going to start off with skincare, specifically sheet masks. So this month I didn't use, at least in my opinion, I didn't really use that many. First one we have is the one that well, all of these I got at TJ Maxx and Marshalls, but the first one is from the brand APLB. I think out of all these, this one, I like it slightly more than the Toli Molis, and my least favorite is the Innisfree one, because this one I feel like it clings so well to my face that I can even kind of bend down a little bit and it doesn't slide off on my face. So this one is fragrance free. It's glutathione niacinamide. Sometimes, depending on how it's formulated, niacinamide makes my skin itchy, but this one does not. It just feels very smoothing. And I got a pack of 10 for $7.99, which is a great deal. This one, we have the Innisfree, I think it's like rose water or rose, something like that. I later realized that I don't really care for the texture of the sheet mask because it feels a little bit rough on my skin. The positive, or maybe, well, I guess it's positive, is that there's a lot of leftover essence. So I use that as a body serum. And I also put that on a cotton pad and I wipe my face before I put on the sheet mask. So that's good. I just wish that the texture was a little bit like softer, smoother. And then we have Tony Moly. You can pretty much find these at TJ Maxx and Marshalls all the time, but these were on sale. I do like the Makgoli, but I'm trying to move or like transition away from these like one-time use sheet masks. And I did purchase some that comes in a bigger pack. So I'll try to reduce my waste, but I have a bunch of these that I need to use up first. All of those I would have purchased except for the Innisfree one because, again, that texture just isn't really for me. Okay, sticking to skincare, I finished up one serum. I am going to use the dropper for this essential oil that I got that the top doesn't really work so well. So I'm going to use that for my diffuser. But this is from the brand Mary and May. So I personally wouldn't buy this, but I think I asked my sister and I said, hey, I'm running out of serums. Do you have an extra one that I could use? And she just gave me the marine collagen one. So this one, it's mainly supposed to give your skin hydration and what do you call it? Yeah, I guess calm down your skin. But I feel like it really did nothing for my face. I think she got this on sale. Well, not on sale, but it was retail price, I believe $7.99 or $9.99. Mary and May is very affordable. The thing I didn't like about this, besides the fact that I felt like it did nothing for my skin, is that the texture reminds me a lot of like a jelly cleanser, but then when you work that into your skin, it dissolves. But I personally don't like products that are high in like calming, moisturizing effects because while I feel like my skin does need moisture, I feel like I like more brightening, I don't know, just other products that do more than just moisturize because I feel like I could get that from a cream. So this one, it's nice, fragrance free as well. I wouldn't repurchase it again, but I feel like if you have sensitive skin, you might enjoy using it. Then we have a borderline expired sunblock that I got from the Trader Joe's advent calendar. I want to say it was 2023 and not 2024. Yeah, so I'm glad I finished this up. This is the Trader Joe's Daily Facial Sunscreen SPF. What does that say? 40. So I hate this sunblock. I hear that some people compare it to a dupe of this more expensive one, the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. I really hate that texture as well because what for me, it doesn't absorb into my skin. I feel like it just stays there kind of like Vaseline. Like if you were doing that thing like where you put Vaseline after you're done with all your skincare. And I feel like when I had this sunblock on, I would mainly use it on my shower days. And I would have to be conscious not to like rub anything against my skin, whether that be like a pillow, my arm, because I would just have this like goopy mess on myself. So I would not recommend, but I know a lot of people do enjoy that type of sunblock. Like my sister, there was a time where she really liked it and she bought like 2 or 3 backups when it first came out, but now I think she's kind of over it. So that is it for skincare specifically. Let me go on to body care. A lot of these are my sister's, so let me do hers first. Well, this is kind of body care. She uses it in the shower. So she used up 2 Hall's shower steamers in the cherry scent. I believe she got both of them on sale for $3, and I guess that's her new price of she's willing to pay for Hall shower steamers. I feel like this one takes a longer time to dissolve in the shower, but it's a bit on the lighter side. So I personally, when I use this, I use 2 at a time and I put that on either end of the shower. This scent is just okay. I think my sister's favorite out of like the Halls brand, I think it's the honey lemon one. That one was not on sale, unfortunately, but she would repurchase that if it was on sale for $3. I believe normally it's $5.99. Next, going on to a perfume that my sister finished up, we have the Alt Bold Love. This is their inspired by or dupe of Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. So my sister realized that that she just needs to fork up the money and pay for Love Don't Be Shy, because this one, while it's an okay dupe, she feels like the Kilian one is just better and like sweeter. So this one does have the fragrance notes in the back if you want to see. And then this one was on sale at Marshall's for $19.99. So towards the end, the pump doesn't really, I feel like once it didn't pump anymore, but there was still a little bit left. So what I did, and something that's good about this bottle, is that you can unscrew it. So I put that in my PJ and I used the last remaining bits. This one's okay. But for me personally, I feel like it smells like root beer a little bit. And even her Kilian Love Don't Be Shy, the original one, it comes across to my nose as root beer for some reason. But definitely my sister's version is a lot softer, sweeter. I feel like this one's a little bit brighter. Maybe the bergamot is more present in this, but something about it just makes me think like it's more of a daytime Love Don't Be Shy. Versus the original, I feel like that's more of like if you want more of a feminine sweet scent. But this one, I do have my own that I purchased, but once I finish up that one, which might be in a couple years, I don't think I'm going to repurchase it again. And my sister is not going to purchase it again as well, since she'll have the original one. The next empty that my sister finished up is this Tree Hut Scrub. If you don't know, my sister loves Tree Hut Scrubs in Margarita Citron. So this one, we found it at Marshall's. Oh no, scratch that. TJ Maxx for $5.99. If you find any Tree Hut Scrubs now, they up the price to $6.99. Greedy corporations, right? So my sister left me a note that she would not repurchase this. It was light, it didn't linger on her skin, and she would only get this if it was on sale. I have one since she got one and I got one, and I feel like this smells like a melted margarita because I feel like it's not too heavy on the citrus, but I feel like if it was a little bit stronger, I would like it a little bit more. So once I use up mine, if it is light how she says, then I wouldn't repurchase it. But then again, I don't have to worry about scrubs because I have way too many if you were to see my collection. Okay, finally, the only body care product that I finished up this go around. We have Onyx Bathhouse. Unfortunately, Onyx Bathhouse no longer is sold in TJ Maxx and Marshalls because I think now they have this exclusivity thing with Walmart. This is I'm Dreaming of Sandy Beaches in the Foaming Body Scrub. Mango orange with citrus oil. So this one, I feel like I really like the color. On top, it was an orange color, and at the bottom, it was this blue color. But for some reason, towards the end, like when they didn't have the name of like the scent right here, I feel like quality started to go down a bit. So I felt like this one smelled, again, a little bit watery, how that Tree Hut scrub did. And also, it seemed more sticky and like syrupy, but it didn't have that foaming action that it would in the past. I feel like I would have to kind of mix it with water in order to get it going. And it wasn't gritty enough. I know that some Onyx Bathhouse scrubs, they're a little bit tougher and gritty, but it could also be that they're quite old. So maybe that's why they're starting to dry out a little bit. So this one, they used to go for $5.99, but I think I got this on sale for like $2 or $3. I don't know. It was a pretty good deal. Also, towards the end, they started not having the safety seal. And that's one thing that I personally look forward in products. I always want there to be a safety seal. But this one, I can't repurchase it even if I wanted to, and I kind of don't. But yeah, this one was just okay. Not my favorite Onyx Bathhouse body scrub. Okay, this isn't really body care, it's hair care, but I only have one item, so I'll sneak it into this category. But I got a free sample from Lush in this banana conditioner. If you know me, you know I don't like bananas. So when I went to go make my purchase, this was included because I was getting this like scalp shampoo thing, and they're like, oh, do you have any conditioner to go along with it? And then I said, no, I don't really like the conditioner I tried. Oh, what's your hair type? And then I ended up with this. So this one is the banana conditioner. What I told the sales associate is that more of the normal, doesn't need a whole lot of moisture, but it doesn't need a super lightweight conditioner. And she gave me this. This was slightly creamy, but it also had like a mixture of like a gel consistency, and I feel like it kind of did nothing for my hair. It did the bare minimum, and prices that Lush should not do the bare minimum. And also, I hate this smell. It smells like banana, a little bit of sunscreen, like maybe banana boat sunscreen. I thought this was going to smell a little bit gourmand. No, this almost reminds me of like coconut or suntan lotion. So I do not like this. No, unless I would only repurchase it if it did miracles for my hair, which it did not. So that's my quick little rant and hair care product that I finished up. I think the last category, or the biggest category for this go around, would be or will be home fragrance. So let me break this up to wax melts. So for this go around, I only finished up 2 4-hour tea lights just because I think I was trying to test out candles or my other wax melts that don't require tea lights. But okay, I have one from a small business, the Candle Nurse. I wrote myself a little note because I tend to forget. Here is the Sunnyside Diner, pour date July 13th, 2024, fresh baked bread, pretzel, powdered, and glazed donuts. So this one, I really enjoy the scent. The unfortunate thing about it is that it's a little bit light. So I also tried this in my Julienne hot plate warmer. I tried it on medium and high. I also did it in my Scentsy with 1 cube. And I felt like this didn't really last a long time either, maybe a total of 6 hours. Some of the Candle Nurse wax lasts me maybe like 2 days or so, but this one was not one of the cases, and this one was the one that smelled heavy on the pretzel. I also really enjoyed the glazed and powdered donuts combo. Fresh baked bread, I'm not really getting too much of it. It's playing really well with the pretzel, but again, that's the predominant note. I think if it performed a little bit better, I would repurchase it, but since it was a bit light, I think this will be a one and done. Next, we have some herbal melts from Swan Creek Candle Co. This is in blueberry cheesecake. I ended up using a dino label to write down the fragrance. But this one, essentially, it says sweet and tangy scent of blueberries, rich cheesecake filling to fill your home and evoke the feeling of nostalgia. These are pretty, well, not heavy, but sizable wax melts, but I used 1 cube per melting session. I only used this in my, oh no, I lied. I used this in my tea light and my Julienne hot plate warmer, and I felt like the performance was about the same. I really like the fake artificial blueberry syrup note in here. It reminds me a little bit of blueberry blueberry scented stationery products when you were younger. I'm not getting a ton of cheesecake, and the type of like, I guess, cake note that I'm getting definitely does not lean sour, like how some people note that milk or lactonic notes lean a little bit sour. That is not the case. The main problem with this melt is that it was very, very light. I feel like I heard a lot that Swan Creek wax melts last a long time, but I felt like it just lasted a day, and it was at most a light medium. So unfortunately, because of the performance, I wouldn't repurchase, and I feel like the scent is just okay. I mean, it's nice, it's artificial, blueberry fun, but it was kind of whatever in terms of performance. Ooh, this one that performed extremely well was a free sample that I got in a wax melt giveaway from Jeannie. So this one is an L3 scoop in vanilla birch, vanilla oak, and toasted mallow. This thing, I kid you not, lasted about 3 days or so. It was so strong. And at first I thought, it's not going to last too long because the only scoop that I've tried from L3, it's in a pink lemonade cake or something, and it just does not perform well. Even right now, I'm in the halfway mark, and I think that's probably just the scent. The main note that I get is the birch mixed in with this really creamy toasted mallow scent, which I don't know if that's a dupe of Marshmallow Fireside, but I could kind of see it. I would categorize the scent as medium strong to strong. I would even venture to say that you could use this in an open concept. Each time that my mom came into my room and I had this going, she complimented it, so she did like the scent. Again, more birch on cold. However, the marshmallow note came out as it was warming. I tried this both in my Julienne hot plate warmer, and I also tried this in my Scentsy warmer, and it performed Slightly better in my Julienne, but it still performed well in my 25-watt Scentsy warmer. I think I would repurchase it just given how well it performed, but I don't plan to make any purchases from L3 within the next few months just because I have so much wax to get through. Next, going on to reed diffusers, we have one that my sister gave me. This is Star-Crust Amethyst. Did I say Star-Crust? Star-Crossed Amethyst infused. So if you hear it, there's little crystals in there, and I tend to collect them and put them in a clear jar because I like looking at them. This one's in a set as well as a mini candle that I emptied out either last month or the month prior, and it did a whole lot of nothing. So my mom thought it'd be cute to add this little, what do you call it, dried flowers, and that one I got it from this reed diffuser called Cocoa Door, and this one performed better. I found it at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. I think it was on yellow tag discount for $5. However, if you were to find this on Amazon, I think they retail $17. I would recommend it for $5, not for $17. But going back to this Star-Crust Crossed, I feel like I keep saying crust. Star-Crossed, I would not recommend it, but I am going to keep the little crystals inside. However, to pay money just for little crystals, I don't think so. All right, next, going on to one that I didn't really care for, we have Blood Orange Vetiver. This is from, I think this is from DW Home, but it looks like a different line. I don't know what's up with all the like Japanese katakana in here, but this one was on sale for $4, and this one sadly was a little bit light, or a lot light. The main note that I got was this woody scent mixed in with orange, which I'm assuming is the blood orange. Yeah, it was just kind of like whatever. It did a whole lot of nothing, so I ended up putting that in my sister's room. I didn't really flip the reeds because even if I flipped them, I felt like the strength didn't get any better. So that one, I wouldn't recommend it, wouldn't repurchase. Another reed diffuser that I wouldn't recommend and wouldn't repurchase is from the brand Sand and Fog. This one has a really cute container vessel. The problem is that it's really hard if you don't shake it to know whether or not it's empty. And also it has the wooden reeds that I don't really care for because they look a little bit sad after continuously flipping them. This one was in the scent Cinnamon Vanilla. I think I got it on sale after Christmas because this is one of their seasonal winter fragrances. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. I think I've had better success with other brands, so I don't know if I will continue to repurchase from Sand and Fog. Their Sand and Paws reed diffusers work a little bit better, at least in my opinion. Next, going on from a brand that I would repurchase from, just not in the scent. So this is from the brand Nest. They sometimes carry it at TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and Marshalls. This one I got it on sale from $34.99 during their yellow tag sale for $23. The problem, besides the fact that I think there's a dead bug in here, is that I didn't care for the scent, but it was completely sealed, so I didn't know until after I opened it. This is in Mediterranean Fig. Yeah, it just smells a little bit too earthy for my preference, but in my small bathroom, it did a good job at filling the space. I think towards the end, I didn't want to smell it, so I stopped flipping the reeds like around this level. But before then, I think it did an okay job at being like a light background scent in my bathroom. Is it worth $23 for being a light background scent? Probably not. So I guess it depends how my mood is at the time, whether or not I'm willing to spend that money on ambiance, basically. All right, let's go on to candles since I think I have a little bit of that. Ooh, first, let's do a declutter. I'm so over this. Oh, wait, this is Bath and Body Works. You know what? I'll save that and I'll put that in my Bath and Body Works pile. Let's go into my sister's empty. So one item that she would repurchase, would recommend, we have a wood wick. If you see right there, you're like, whoa, that's a lot of soot. It didn't soot until it got to this, like, you know, like the curvy waist, until it got like right here, it started sooting. And I don't know if it's the design, but my sister sometimes ended up lighting this and she didn't tell me to trim the wicks. One time I like walked over to her room and this thing was sooting and she was not noticing. And I thought, oh no, I turned it off and I trimmed the wicks for her. But this one, she got it at Marshall's for $12.99. I'm going to toot my own horn and say that I saw this. Unfortunately, we didn't pick up the other one in this large tumbler style because it was slightly melted. But thinking back, I feel like we so could have gotten it and it wouldn't have affected the burn. So with the large 2 wick, no, why am I calling it a 2-wick tumbler? In the large tumbler style from Woodwick, it is 21.5 ounces. It looks like this one came out in 2024. And the scent is really nice. This was a Woodwick candle that I felt like I could smell the scent. I would categorize this as like a 6 out of 10 in her room, but then again, her room is a little bit smaller than mine. Yeah, I can still smell it right now. Even though it looks like sooty and stuff, here, let me show you how it looks like in the inside. Still, the wax itself looks pretty clean if you like ignore all this soot and stuff, but again, I think that might be mainly user error from how she would not trim her wicks or wick in this instance. Yeah, it just smells like basically just tuberose. I think if you look up the fragrance notes, unfortunately this scent is discontinued, but I mainly just get like this creamy floral that's really present, but it still smells nice and not like a heady floral type of like rose gardenia type of way. But for $12.99, this is a steal. And if I ever see any Woodwick candles in TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I'm buying up the whole inventory. I would recommend this. Again, I don't know if it would have gotten this sooty had I been burning it, but just FYI, and especially if you leave it going for several hours, which she did do. Ooh, going on to a candle that I didn't really enjoy. I did a dedicated review for this. This is a Kringle candle in their weird collection of I don't even know what collection this is called, but this was in strawberry jam, fragrance nude, strawberry, lemon, vanilla, buttercream. And this one towards the end got a little bit gunky, and I didn't really care to melt the wax or anything. And I think the reason why I really dislike this candle is because I got like a fishy odor, and I think it's coming from this lid. I have not put this lid on this candle since about like right here, because I felt like each time I kept putting the lid back on the candle, it kept distorting the scent. And then I thought, oh, maybe the scent's going to get a lot better. Well, I think the strawberry note in here is one that I don't care for, because it almost smells like overripe strawberries, or strawberries that you left on the counter for too long, and you're like, ooh, do I toss this? Do I not? If I eat them, will I get an upset stomach? Maybe. So that's why I don't really care for this scent in particular. Yeah, do I get a lot of the lemon? Not really. Do I get a lot of the buttercream? Not really. So there's that. Wouldn't recommend it, wouldn't repurchase. Final candle that I emptied up, we have a small business, Teresa Lynn Simple Lux, on Etsy. This is her watermelon scent. So I believe this is called the half mason jar candles. Let's see. Sometimes she has fragrance notes and sometimes she does not. But this is 100% soy woodwick candle. The problem is that it's so tiny that the crackle sound I feel like isn't loud enough for me to like really, really enjoy. And also I felt like with Teresa's candles, except for one scent, which is caramel apple, even this one, it gave me inconsistent throws. Ooh, I was trying to get away from the bad throw. It gave me inconsistent throws. So at the strongest, I would say it was about a 6 out of 10, but sometimes it would go as low as like a 3 out of 10. So this particular one, even though it smells really strong on cold, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I'm just not really willing to risk the gamble of getting this and not hearing the crackle and not really smelling the scent all the time. So there's that one right there. Okay, going on to non-wax and rediffuser and candle home fragrance empties. So my dad and I both ended up using up some Yankee Candle fragrance jars. We saw this at Costco and it was not on sale. I don't know why I bought this. It wasn't on sale. So this one, out of all the whole entire packet, this was the strongest one, Midsummer's Night. It just smells like a kind of like men's cologne. I don't know which one because I'm not familiar with men's colognes, but it almost smells like one that my dad would like. So this one lasted about 3 weeks, but after a while he would constantly have to shake it in order to kind of like reactivate the scent. So if there was a packet that just had that one, I think I would buy that for him. I don't enjoy the scent. And the one that I used up, I could smell it for like 5 minutes and then I couldn't. I also had to constantly shake it. This one is an iced berry lemonade. It's a nice scent. And I think they also sell it in like candles and wax melts and whatnot. But it did a whole lot of nothing in this car jar. I think that the paper Yankee Candle car air fresheners, whatever, I think those work better than these. So I would not repurchase that. Next, going on to a hanging car freshener that I got at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Kind of like a brand I've never heard of, Studio O, in the scent Good Vibes. Okay. Hey, I just realized it says contains 2 car air refreshing. I only saw one. Maybe that's why it was on sale, but it was $1.50 during a yellow tag sale. Don't know how much it was before, but this scent was kind of whatever, and I don't really smell anything now. Yeah, I don't really care for this. It almost smells like cashmere or wool or something. Yeah, wouldn't recommend that. Wouldn't repurchase. Oh, actually, if it was 50 cents, I would repurchase it. All right, next, going on to another home fragrance, Empty, but I still like having them around, so I'll just show you the wrapper. But I feel like the scent is pretty much gone, but I don't want to throw it away. This one is from Walmart, Arm & Hammer Odor Busters. So it was in a 2-pack for $1.50 each. Original price $3.98. So I have this hanging in my closet and my little like wardrobe that's not a part of my closet. I feel like it was really strong when I first got it out of the packet, but now I don't smell it at all. When I would open up my closet, I only smelled it for maybe like 3 days, and then I didn't really get much. But I feel like it's doing something in there. If it's not scenting up my closet, I feel like it's neutralizing the odors. So there's that. If I were to see this again, I would repurchase, but honestly, I don't know if it's doing anything besides just hanging there. All right, next we have a Dollar Tree purchase when it was still a dollar, well, not $1.50. I don't know how much the prices are right now. So this is from Airwick Stick Ups. Well, one is still hanging in my little laundry basket, and I feel like I still smell it, but personally, it's not as strong as it was when I first purchased it. So this one, it says it lasts 60 days or up to 60 days. And I feel like it did last 60 days. The scents, though, they smell a little bit, like Dollar Tree-ish, if you catch my drift, a little fake, a little not that expensive. But out of this one and the citrus one, I think this one smells the best. So if I were to see this again, I would repurchase, and I'd probably stick this, like, let's say, by a trash can, by a laundry hamper, by what else? I don't know, like a damp corner. Would recommend this, would repurchase it. All right, that is it for home fragrance, at least I think so. Miscellaneous products. We finished up another one, and by we, I mean my family and I finished up this Crest Pro Health Maximum Cavity Protection. So we repurchased this, and I feel like they changed the flavor or the type or made some type of like tweak to it, and I definitely like the old one more. So I don't know if I can purchase this formula, but I liked it. It didn't foam up too much in my mouth, did its job. And I think it has the highest amount of fluoride. Yeah, it does. We always go for a toothpaste that have 0.454 in fluoride. So really like that. I'm not into natural toothpaste because I have way too many dental health, not issues that I currently have, but I feel like I have a family history of dental health problems. So I'm not about to play with cavities and stuff. Next, we have some flushable wipes. Funny enough, my family and I don't like to flush the wipes even though it says flushable wipes. I just kind of like to get those because I feel like they're more biodegradable when they go in the landfill. So this one, it was not the best because I feel like it dried out and this little sticky tape did not stick down, or someone in this family forgot to like, go from here to here. They would kind of like go like that, and then obviously the air would kind of dry it out. So I feel like these weren't wet enough, and my parents get that for their every 3-month like Medicare or Social Security allowance. Sometimes they get their stuff, and sometimes they're like, hey girls, do you want, even though we're like well past that age, hey, do you want to use it for something? And we always get like flushable wipes or like what's it called, floss or something. We'll not purchase this again. Oh, another thing that our parents were like, hey, do you want to order something? We have some cotton swabs. This is from the brand Simply Soft, and this is Simply Cheap because I don't know, like this picture's a lie. There's not a lot of like cushion in the cotton. It feels more like the cotton stick. So sometimes I would put this in my ear and forget it was cheap, and I feel like I just jabbed my eardrum, even though you're not supposed to, put the cotton swab in the eardrum. I think that who doesn't, right? So wouldn't purchase this one, but I think I ordered like 2 more when my dad didn't know what else to fill up his cart with. Alright, so that is everything that I finished up in the month of August. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.